I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 284. The Monarchy, that is on the page 107. While doing leg stretching, and if you participate in the leg stretching, it is at your own risk. Let's start with the leg stretching. We're bringing both legs long out, with the feet together, don't go to the outside, have them together. You can have a round back and then pull with both hands, or you can have a straight back and lean just in front, and you can pull the toes in. So the Monarchy. It was updated in the last 15 years. So King Charles III is the head of the state of the UK. So King Charles III. So there's King Charles III, and he is the head of the state of the UK. He is basically the highest person in the United Kingdom. He is also the monarch or head of state for many countries in the Commonwealth. So he's not only in the United Kingdom, the head of the state, but also in many other countries who are part of the Commonwealth. For example, in Australia, where Charles III is the highest person. Or I think also in Canada. So the head of the UK, or the monarch, is momentarily King Charles III. And the monarch of the United Kingdom is also the head of many other countries. So King Charles III is the head of the United Kingdom and of other countries of the Commonwealth, for example, Australia and Canada, but some more. The UK has a constitutional monarchy. This means that the king or queen does not rule the country, but appoints the government, which the people have chosen in a democratic election. Okay, let's try to understand that. The UK has a constitutional monarchy. This means that the monarch does not rule the country, but appoints the government, which the people have chosen in democratic election. So not the monarch is ruling. The monarch does not say which laws are happening. But the monarch appoints the government, but it is the government which the people have chosen in a democratic election. So it's a democracy. But the head of state is still the monarch. But it is democracy. The government says who does what and how the laws are, and the government is elected by the people. And the next exercise, we're bringing just one leg out. You can pull it in, or just not. And the monarch invites the leader of a party. Okay, we get an explanation, and then as always, we're taking what is written in the book, not what I talking. The monarch invites the leader of a party with the largest number of MPs, or the leader of a coalition between more than one party, to become the prime minister. An important sentence, and we're having a page for it. The monarch invites the leader of a party with the largest number of MPs. So, for example, in 1945, the Labour Party, or 1949, the Conservative, or 1979. So, in 1979, when Margaret Thatcher was voted in, the leader of Conservatives was invited. That was Margaret Thatcher. So, in 1979, the monarch had invited the leader, or the leader of a coalition between more than one party. We had it at one time also when the coalition was. That was David Cameron in 2006 or so. To become the prime minister. So in 1979, let's take that, where the Conservative Party had the most votes. So the people were all voting. We're changing the leg. The people were all voting, and they made, I don't know, but I guess they made the X in 1979, and more people made the X by the Conservative Party than by the Labour Party. And now we were all counted, and there were more for Conservatives, so the Conservatives won. And when the leader of Conservatives, which was Margaret Thatcher, was invited by the monarch, which was Queen Elizabeth II, and then the monarch has regular meetings with. The monarch invites the leader of a party with the largest number of MPs to become the prime minister. Yes, they are then invited, and then the monarch says that they are now the prime minister. So the people voting for a party, and the leader of a party is invited by the monarch, and the monarch says then that the leader of the party is now the prime minister. And it's minister. And so that was that sentence. And we will page flip. The monarch has regular meetings with the prime minister and can advise, warn, and encourage, but the decisions on government policies are made by the prime minister and cabinet. See the section on the government. What section of government? I'm totally untalented to flip the page with my right hand. I never did it in my life. No, I can't find the government. Okay, so what happens by a meeting? Sometimes the Prime Minister and the monarch meet. And then the king or the queen can advise, warn, and encourage, but not say what policies are made. So they can advise and say, let's better do that, or let's better do that in politics, or warn, if we're doing that had that consequences, or encourage and saying, yeah, that's a good thing, let's continue to do that policy. But the decision on government policies are made by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. So the monarch can warn, advise, and discuss, but the decision is done by the Prime Minister and also the Cabinet. See the section of the government, we can't find it. And I don't understand this, where the cabinet is. Now, the next exercise, the car racer. Okay, in 1990 with the legs, we're going with the hand to the knee which is behind of us, and we're leaning with the shoulder to the knee which is in front of us. See the government. The king has reigned, the meaning King Charles III. So, sorry, it's a picture I'm going to show later time. More properly. That is King Charles III, and he's the head of state of the UK. So, and the king has reigned since his mother's death in September 2022. He is married to Queen Camilla. His eldest son, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, is the heir to the throne. Okay, let's go over it all again. The king has reigned since his mother's death in 2022 in September. So until September 2022, Queen Elizabeth II had reigned, but then she died, and then her son, King Charles III, took over. And he is married to Camilla, and she's queen. So they are King Charles III and Queen Camilla. And he has two sons, and his eldest son is Prince William, and he is the Prince of Wales. And Prince William is the heir to the throne. That means that Prince William one day will be king. The king has important ceremonial roles, such as the opening of a new parliamentary season. Season is, I don't know. I think it's I have no idea. Seasonal session. And the changing of the other leg with hands to the knee, which is behind of us, and we're leaning in front. So, the king has important ceremonial roles, such as the opening of a new parliamentary season each year. Having an explanation. On this occasion, the king makes a speech which summarizes the government's policies for the year ahead. All acts of parliament are made in his name. Okay, so once a year the king comes into the parliament and he holds a speech and tells the people what reminds them of their policies, how they should act or something like that. And all acts which the parliament then does are happening in his name. So that means they're saying the king has all of it. They are voting and then they're saying the king has done it. Understand it that way. And the king represents the UK to the rest of the world. He receives foreign ambassadors and high commissioners, entertains visiting heads of state, and makes state visit overseas in support of diplomatic and economic relationships with other countries. To the other side again, into 1990 with the next, and we're just going in front. Okay, so what does the king do? The king represents the UK, so the UK to the world, to the rest of the world. He receives foreign ambassadors, so the king represents the UK. So, yes, okay. He receives foreign ambassadors and high commissioners. So people from other countries coming, and the king receives them, and by talking, and the king is what is it called? I don't know. The king makes sure that we're having a nice visit, and that we feel good in the United Kingdom, and that we like the UK. So, and also high commissioners, so people from other countries. And he entertains visiting heads of state. Yes, he visits them and they're talking with each other, and makes state visits overseas in support of diplomatic and economic relationships with other countries. So the king or the queen travels around the world to other countries, and when we're talking there with the leaders of the other countries, so that there happens a talk and discussion, and the diplomatic relationships are staying good. and also the economic relationships. So the king goes over to another country and they're talking together, so that both countries know of each other and like each other, and the two countries having good diplomatic relationships and also economic relationships, which are good. And we're going to the pigeon pose, do it only if you already know how to do the pigeon pose at your own desk. I'm going to show the picture again. I don't know, I can't see what the camera is filming from here. The king has an important role in providing stability and continuity. While governments and prime ministers change regularly, the king continues as head of state. He provides a focus for national identity and pride. We're having a national anthem, that's the next thing. Okay. The king has an important role in providing stability and continuity. So the country is stable and the people knowing how goes it on tomorrow. And continuity. And the government changes and the prime minister changes every couple of years. There is new votes and someone new gets elected in, or there are happening political discourses and something changes. But the king continues to be the head of state. And he provides a focus for national identity and pride. So the king and the monarchy, they are providing that there's a focus for the national identity, so that the people can say that they identify with the country and the monarchy, and also pride, that the people have pride in the monarchy. Now, that's what we have for the monarchy. The next thing will be the national anthem. So if you're just here for the national anthem, you can just go over to the next part and don't do the pigeon pose too long. Do it all at your own tempo. It's anyway at your own risk. Why? Because everyone has different bodies. I don't know what you have at your legs. There are many people who have some things at the legs. Such an exercise like that is not healthy to do. And okay, the king has important ceremonial roles, such as the opening of. We could be asked, who opens every year the parliament and holds a speech? That would be the monarch. The king has important ceremonial roles, such as the opening of a new parliamentary session each year. On this occasion, the king makes a speech which summarizes the government's policies for the year ahead. Now we're going to the other side. And we're in the front. So if you're just here for the national anthem, you're going out to the next part. No, 1999, just in front. Now, what will we had? Technically, we can know all the movies. And the last one, that was Kevin McDonald? Yeah, well, Kevin McDonald, Touching a Boy, 2003. So, the 39 Steps, Alfred Hitchcock, 1935. And Brief Encounter, 1945. So, David Lean. And when we had... Enter the pigeon pause now. So, David Lean. And when we had in 1949, Frank Launder, he did The Bells of St. Trinians, something like that. And the third man did Carol Reed. And the third one was in 1949. The Bells of St. Trinians was 1954. Then we had Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. Sir David Lean, in 1969. Ken Russell doing Woman in Love, in 1973. Nicholas Rourke, Don't Look Now. And 1981, Chariots of Fire, Hugh Hudson. And then 1984, Killing Fields. Must be the Killing Fields. The Killing Fields, and the Killing Fields was something with F. Okay, let's go on. Then we had 1994, Mike Newell, The Four Weddings and a Funeral, and 2003, Touching the Boy, Kevin McDonald. Who did the Killing Fields? That was Roland Joff. No, these are the movies. And so do we have to learn other landmarks also? Maybe something to actors, television, radio shows, maybe. But we have to do the places of interest here, the UK landmarks. The first one is the Big Ben. The Big Ben is the bell, but many people are... It is the nickname for the bell, but many people are calling it the clock. A lot of people are calling the whole thing Big Ben. It's not even the thing of a bell, so nothing of that thing is Big Ben. It's the Elizabeth Tower, but it's called Big Ben, whatever. It's in London at the Thames next to the House of the House of Parliament. House of Parliament, 150 years old, and to the Jubileum of Queen Elizabeth II. In 2012, it was named Elizabethtown. Now, we're going to go in a moment to the last exercise, the butterfly stretch, and again, as in the last part, I invite you, if you've done the whole leg stretching, to stay for a minute or so, or half a minute, in the butterfly stretch, longer than the video goes. So, the Big Ben, we have to know the Big Ben, and then we're going to continue with the Garden Eden here, with the, was that actually the Garden Eden? I don't have time the next time. Now to the butterfly stretch, the soles of the feet together, straight up with the back, and lean in front, and I thank you very much, and until next time.